Growing the economy is a central goal for almost every country, and it has been like that for several decades. The promise to increase the GDP is something you can hear from almost every world leader. This promise of increasing the GDP has led to a tremendous amount of growth, with huge upsides. This global growth has at the same time led to an increase in damaging ecological effects on Earth. Most economists want to find a middle ground, where the economy continues to grow, but we decrease our damage to Earth. Is that possible? Can we have the cake and eat it too? Is green growth possible? Before we take a deeper look into that question, it's important to understand what GDP is and why its growth has become the de facto goal of most modern economies. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product and is the total income generated within a nation's borders. So if a country can produce more products and increase its output, it will grow its GDP. There are three main ways a country can increase its output. The first one is innovation, where a nation can adopt new technologies. The second one is capital, that can grow a country's stock of machinery and factories. The third one is labor, where a nation can increase its workforce. These factors, innovation, capital, and labor, can all increase a nation's output, and therefore GDP. Why has then this single number of GDP growth become so important for countries around the world to strive for? There are many numbers out there in the world, so why this one and why just one? Having a single number that broadly captures the size of a nation's economy has proved a useful tool that can be used as a single year-to-year indicator for measuring the economic progress of a country. GDP also gives us the GDP per capita, which is a nation's GDP divided by its population. It has been shown to strongly correlate with the health and prosperity of individuals within a country. Even though this one number has many problems and can't show the complete picture of the economy, it has proved to be a simple and useful indicator of the well-being of a nation's economy. Now with this clear picture of growth, we can understand what green growth is and how it can be possible. Future growth can become green by decoupling GDP from its ecological impacts. In other words, while GDP continues to grow over time, its resource use, such as freshwater use, fertilizer use, and greenhouse gas emissions, will fall at the same time. So is it possible to decouple them and decrease the damage while the economy continues to grow? This is something that has already been shown to be very possible. Between 2000 and 2013, Germany's GDP grew by 16%, while its consumption-based CO2 emissions fell by 12%. Likewise, the GDP in the US grew by 28%, while its emissions fell by 6%. This is a striking break with the past and a huge step forward. But to get back to our planetary boundaries, more is required. We can increase this decoupling between GDP growth and our ecological impact in three main ways. First, by shifting our energy supply away from fossil fuels and into renewable energy sources, such as solar, wind, and hydro. Second, by creating a resource-efficient circular economy where you design out waste and pollution, keep products and materials in use, and regenerate Earth's natural systems. The third thing is expanding our weightless economy, made possible by digital products and services where no resources are needed to create another copy or serve another customer, where ideas instead of things drive future GDP growth. The question that is being discussed right now by scientists is if these changes can be enough to grow our GDP while at the same time decreasing our ecological impact enough to get back inside our planetary boundaries. So green growth is clearly something that is possible because it has been shown to work in several countries. What is still a mystery is how much we can decouple our GDP growth from our ecological damage to Earth.